Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soulful Insights, your weekly podcast dedicated to exploring the profound spiritual truths that shape our lives. I'm your host, Zephyr, and it is a true pleasure to be with you all again today. We have a particularly poignant and I think incredibly important topic lined up for our discussion, one that resonates deeply with the human experience. And to guide us through this intricate conversation, I am absolutely delighted to introduce our esteemed guest. Joining us today is Sharon, a profound spiritual counselor and author whose wisdom has touched countless lives. Sharon, thank you so much for being here.
Zephyr, it's an absolute honor and a pleasure to be back on Soulful Insights. Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate the opportunity to connect with your listeners on such a vital subject.
The honor is all ours, Sharon. Today, we're diving into a topic that, frankly, many of us have faced at some point in our lives: the pain of being hurt by others. And more specifically, we're going to explore something that often brings a sense of hope and perhaps even validation to those who have suffered. Our topic is 7 Signs God is Dealing with Those Who Hurt You. It's a powerful statement, and I know it will bring comfort and understanding to many. Sharon, let's just jump right into this. When we talk about God dealing with someone, what exactly does that encompass from a spiritual perspective?
That's an excellent foundational question, Zephyr. When we speak of God dealing with someone, it's not always about immediate, dramatic retribution, as some might imagine. Often, it's a process, a divine intervention that can manifest in various ways, some subtle, some more overt. It's about bringing alignment, justice, consequences, or even opportunities for repentance. It's about upholding divine order and ensuring that actions have their corresponding spiritual repercussions. It's an affirmation that no injustice goes unnoticed in the eyes of the divine. And it's not always punitive. Sometimes it's redemptive for all involved, including the person who inflicted the pain. With that understanding, let's explore these signs. The first sign, and it's quite common, is they face unexpected challenges or setbacks in their own lives.
That's a very clear first sign, Sharon. It speaks to a kind of divine ripple effect, doesn't it? Could you elaborate on how these unexpected challenges often present themselves? Is it always immediately after the hurtful act, or can it be a more prolonged experience?
Excellent point, Zephyr. It's rarely instantaneous like a lightning bolt, though that can happen. More often, it's a series of events, a pattern that emerges over time. For example, someone who unfairly sabotaged another's career might suddenly find their own professional path blocked by unforeseen obstacles, perhaps a project failing spectacularly, or a promotion they were certain of mysteriously slipping away. Or if they sow discord in relationships, they might find their own closest connections fracturing without clear reason. It feels like doors are closing, opportunities are drying up, and a general sense of frustration and stagnation sets in. It's not necessarily about God punishing them in a vengeful way, but rather allowing them to experience the natural spiritual consequences of their own actions. The universe, or God, has a way of balancing the scales, and sometimes that comes through a period of difficulty.
That makes so much sense. It's almost as if the energy they put out eventually boomerangs back. What's the second sign we should be looking for?
The second sign, Zephyr, is they experience a strong conviction or intense guilt, often without a clear external trigger. This is a powerful internal work of God. Suddenly, they might be plagued by restless nights, a persistent sense of unease, or intrusive thoughts about what they did. This isn't just ordinary regret. It's a deep, gnawing feeling that something is fundamentally wrong, even if they've outwardly convinced themselves they did nothing wrong. It's a stirring of the conscience, a divine nudge that can be deeply uncomfortable and disruptive. They might find themselves reliving the moment they hurt you, feeling the weight of their actions, or suddenly empathizing with the pain they caused, even if they initially lacked that empathy. This conviction is often a prerequisite for true repentance and change.
So it's God working on their heart and mind, essentially. That's a profound form of intervention. It suggests that even those who seem unrepentant can be reached internally. What about the third sign, Sharon?
Indeed, Zephyr. The third sign is their true character is revealed to others. This is often a very public sign. If someone has maintained a facade of integrity or kindness while secretly engaging in harmful behavior, God has a way of bringing what's hidden into the light. People who once admired them might start seeing cracks in their persona. Their manipulative tactics become transparent, their hidden agendas exposed. This isn't necessarily through a dramatic expose, but often through a series of smaller instances where their words don't align with their actions, or their true motives become clear through seemingly unrelated situations. It could be colleagues, friends, or even family members gradually realizing who this person truly is, leading to a loss of trust and respect. This revelation serves to protect others from further harm and to isolate the individual, creating a space where they might have to confront their own actions.
That's a powerful one, Sharon, because it not only affects the individual, but also serves as a protective measure for those around them. It's like the universe saying, no, this illusion cannot stand. Let's move to the fourth sign.
The fourth sign is closely related to the last, and that is they experience a loss of favor or influence. This goes beyond just people seeing their true character. It's about a tangible decline in their standing, whether professionally, socially, or within their community. If they were once sought after for advice, their counsel might now be ignored. If they held a position of power, that power might begin to wane, or they might be overlooked for opportunities they once seemed destined for. It's a diminishing of their shine, if you will. This isn't always about a dramatic fall from grace, but a gradual erosion of the respect and goodwill they once commanded. It impacts their ability to lead, to persuade, and to gather support, effectively limiting their capacity to inflict harm on a wider scale. For instance, a charismatic leader who abused their position might find their followers dwindling, or their message losing its impact, leading to a sense of powerlessness and irrelevance.
That's a very significant consequence, Sharon. Losing favor can be a deeply humbling experience. It shows how God can work through the collective consciousness of people as well. What's the fifth sign on our list?
The fifth sign is they become isolated or experience broken relationships. This is often a direct consequence of their hurtful actions. People naturally distance themselves from those who consistently cause pain or discord. The individual might find that their circle of friends shrinks, family members become estranged, or even new relationships struggle to form or sustain themselves. This isolation can be deeply painful and is another way God allows them to experience the consequences of their actions. For instance, someone who betrayed a friend's trust might suddenly find themselves excluded from social gatherings, their calls unanswered, and their attempts to reconnect met with coldness. This loneliness isn't just circumstantial, it's a spiritual echo of the trust and connection they broke, forcing them to confront the emptiness their actions have created around them. It's an uncomfortable space that can either lead to further bitterness or hopefully to introspection and a desire for change.
Isolation can certainly be a powerful catalyst for self-reflection. It forces one to sit with themselves. Let's talk about the sixth sign, Sharon.
The sixth sign, and this is a hopeful one, Zephyr, is they show genuine remorse or seek reconciliation. Sometimes God's dealing with someone isn't punitive at all, but redemptive. Through the challenges, the guilt, the revelations, and the isolation, the individual might finally reach a point of brokenness and genuine regret. They might express sincere apologies, not just empty words, but a true understanding of the pain they caused. They might actively seek to make amends, or even approach you for forgiveness. This isn't always about a grand gesture. It can be a humble, heartfelt admission of wrong. This sign indicates that God has softened their heart, allowing grace to enter and potentially heal not just their soul, but also the fractured relationship. It's an opportunity for a new beginning, though the path to trust and forgiveness often remains a complex one for the one who was hurt.
That's a beautiful sign, Sharon, offering a glimpse of redemption and the power of forgiveness. It shows that God's work is not always about judgment, but also about restoration. What then is our seventh and final sign today?
Our seventh sign, Zephyr, is perhaps the most profound, and importantly, it's a sign that primarily focuses on the one who was hurt. You find inner peace, healing, and release, regardless of their state or outcome. This is crucial because sometimes the dealing God does with the other person isn't always visible to us, or it might not manifest in the ways we expect. But God is always working, and one of the most powerful ways He deals with the situation is by bringing peace and healing to your heart. You might find yourself able to forgive, not for their sake, but for your own freedom. The constant rumination over the hurt diminishes, and you feel a spiritual lightness, a sense of liberation from the emotional chains. You might even find yourself praying for them, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire for their well-being, which is a true sign of profound healing. This peace means you are no longer defined by the wound, and you are free to move forward, knowing that God has handled the situation, even if the justice isn't what you initially envisioned. Your own spiritual growth and liberation are a powerful testament to God's intervention.
Sharon, that is such an empowering and incredibly important final sign.
It shifts the focus from what happens to them to what happens within us, reminding us that God's greatest work is often internal. These 7 signs offer a truly comprehensive and compassionate perspective on how God operates in situations of hurt and injustice, from external consequences and internal conviction to eventual redemption, or most importantly, our own peace. It's clear that God is always at work. Sharon, your insights today have been invaluable, deeply comforting, and incredibly illuminating. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you, Zephyr. It's been an enriching conversation. My hope is that these signs bring understanding and solace to anyone navigating the pain of being hurt, and a reminder that divine justice and healing are always at play.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Soulful Insights. We hope this episode has brought you a new perspective and perhaps some much-needed peace. Remember, you are not alone in your journey, and God's hand is always at work. Join us next week for another episode of Soulful Insights.